What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Aranda here, my best life Paraguay, and today we're going to be checking out the update to Vitaly. I know I said I wouldn't, right? Until his sentencing, but his sentencing is going to be maybe a year or two from now, right? But Jamari has a 10-minute video here, so I was like, heck, why not? You know what? These reaction videos did really well, so let's touch the topic again and see what the update is. I can't believe it's been 2 months ago. So anyways, so again, go subscribe to Jamari. He's a huge YouTuber, 1.36 million subscribers. So if you don't know who he is, go subscribe to him. Anyways, again, this has to do with the bigger topic of us who move abroad or just travel abroad to act right. You know what I mean? It's one thing to make mistakes. It's one thing to get in some trouble, etc. And then have remorse and change your ways. But it's a whole nother thing to insult an entire nation. So, here, hold up. Let me get rid of my bookmarks bar real quick. Okay. Let's check out the update 2 months later.
So a couple of months back, an OG YouTube prankster turned IRL streamer named Vitaly got himself in trouble over in the Philippines. And at first it really just seemed like the latest idiot who travels abroad documenting their crimes for the world to see, really believing he is truly invincible.
Can I shove this up your booty?
What?
Is that okay or no? Yes.
What the fuck?
They won't recognize me. They're gonna call more security with that one. I have a question for you. Yep, please. I'm the new general in town, mother.
Even when he went to the police station, and especially at his public press announcement, he was still openly mocking their people, and basically he made it seem like the entire situation was an absolute joke to him, laughing and taking the time to make faces for the camera. But quickly, Vitaly would face the wrath of the Philippines government, their president Bongbong Marcos, and the Secretary of Government John Vic Romulo. While he awaits his trial, Vitaly has been thrown in their immigration detention center, and we've already discussed how vile and disgusting these living conditions are, with men stacked up on each other at all times due to overcrowding, rats and other vermin running around 24/7, no access to showers or air conditioning, limited access to food, and absolutely no medical attention while this entire place looks absolutely vile.
Shut up, Chad. Stop scaring my mom. I'm not going to jail. I'm literally gonna have fun, talk to girls, eat some ice cream. I'm not doing anything fucking mom. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just hyping up with a child. Let me just walk around. I'm literally gonna talk to girls, talk to strangers. I'm not gonna mess with the cops. Fucking calm down. You need a fucking chill pill, bro. Always trying to ruin the vibes.
Now, I do have several clips to show you guys today from Vitaly's last stream before he got detained. This was actually the day after he did all that bullshit out in public, and just watching this stream back, it's very clear to me that he was extremely paranoid. His mom was very worried about him being arrested, and he was also clearly intoxicated or under the influence of some other substance running around the streets, while also still harassing people despite apparently trying to be on his best behavior.
No, but let's just walk around and have fun. I'm not gonna fuck around with anybody for now. We'll see how long it lasts. The shots are kicking in. I came to this country and somebody told me to take this rhino pill. You know rhino?
No,
It's like a pill.
okay.
So I took it and my PP won't go down. What do I do?
Release yourself, minds.
Do you think your wife can help me? No, okay, I'm so sorry. Air conditioning, eh? Can I make love?
Bro, you deserve to get your ass whooped on the spot if you say some shit like that. For real. Oh my God, dude. I'm glad the whole country saw that. Right? That was incredibly disrespectful. That was next level disrespectful. That might actually be one of the worst things he did and said. It may not be criminal. Actually, it probably is criminal harassment, but that is one of the I don't even know. God damn.
Up to you, sexy time. Please. LOL.
I'm in a new country and my mom is scared for me. She says I'm gonna go to jail. Do I look like I will go to jail? Thank you. But can I ask you a serious question? Can I have your number? Okay, next time. When you're 4, got you.
Now, after over 7 weeks of living in these conditions, we have several updates on the state of Vitaly's mind, as well as where and when this case will be moving forward. And let me just tell you guys right off the bat, it's not looking good for this guy. Now, a lot of this information is coming from the Philippine media company GMA Integrated News. They often are the ones to have access to quotes from the president and other people involved in handling this situation. That's where this guy Romula comes in to say that Vitaly actually wrote him a letter begging for his freedom. This news anchor comes on and explains that in his note, Vitaly claims he is developing mental health issues during his time at the detention center. You know, I guess waking up to rats in your face and the smell of piss in the corner piling up will do that to a man. But honestly, this is an Asian country, dude. They do not want to hear about your mental health issues. I mean, honestly, that's the exact lesson that they wanted to teach his ass. Like, this is not a game. It's also very ironic because Vitaly is likely the type of person to clown on someone for saying they have depression or anxiety, but now he wants to use it as his scapegoat to freedom.
It's game over, brother. I'm gonna go get arrested. That's the real. Yes, I am. Nope, mission is not completed if I'm not arrested. I love you guys.
On the other hand, Romula describes Vitaly as an undesirable alien who overstepped his boundaries out in public.
Na he's suffering from mental health issues. Ano yung kausap niya? Na completely trap na yung mga kaso na may issue ng patawad.
Yeah, so basically this guy does not give a fuck about any of that. He basically said, oh, you poor little piss baby. And I'm just gonna go out on a limb and guess that as Vitaly lays his head on the stomach of a shirtless Asian man, while bugs are flying around his face and he has withdrawals from not being on steroids and other drugs he was likely abusing, he really wishes that he hadn't acted like such an asshole to this guy Romula's face over and over again. I mean, y'all know that Romula saw that shit on playback and thought, oh, you think you're better than us? You think this shit is a joke or the Philippines ought to be fucked with? Well, I'm gonna make sure to really fuck you up now. I'm gonna make it my personal mission. And so he's saying, fuck the mental health, these actions will not be overlooked, and that Vitaly will be facing 3 charges soon, all for unjust fixation, which is essentially like a disturbing the peace charge, with the key caveat being that this is a crime that occurred without violence. It does seem like the ones pressing these charges are the 2 security guards who he was messing around with, stealing their bikes, their hats, and trying to make a mockery of these men. Now, the rumor was that after he got detained, Vitaly actually tried to buy these guys off in the form of a financial settlement for them to drop these charges, but they apparently held strong and wanted to see this man convicted. After all, despite what some of these influencers might think, you can't just always throw money at your problems and expect them to go away. I really do believe that some of these...
Awesome. And I bet you, I'm willing to bet that he probably offered them the equivalent of, I'm just guessing, of a year's salary, maybe even more, right? Because, you know, American dollars go very far in the Philippines. You know, so for them to stay strong, that's not just a little thing, right? So many Americans would have settled, right? But because the Philippines has pride, because they don't want to be looked down, they don't want to have the perception of them backing down, them selling out, right? Because whether like it or not, if they would have accepted that, I guarantee you a lot of their countrymen would have unfortunately looked at them as sellouts. Now, they had every single right to settle, right? But that's the difference between the Philippines and Paraguay, where I'm at, and America. Because America, you don't give other Americans don't care if you settle or not. But you're in the Philippines. They have national pride, right? And not stupid national pride like the U.S., like full of hatred and bigotry and let's hate everybody who doesn't look like us. Not like that. More of like a camaraderie that's good, that they rally together in cases like this, which nobody would rally together if this happened in America. It'd just be one idiot doing some idiot stuff. All right. So anyways, let's keep going.
These guys think that because they hand out money on camera, they can do whatever they want.
Call the police, call the police, call the police, and I'll show what I did for the country. How much I donated to the poor, what I did in the hood. Call the police. I'm not even gonna get into that, bro. I'm not, bro. Say praying for people, freaking donating to the kids. It's never good enough for anybody, bro. I swear, bro, I need to make my own fucking YouTube kick.
But sometimes it really is about the principle of what you did to someone, and in this case, they want to set the example that their country is not to be fucked with.
Batay sa resolusyon ng prosecutor's office ng Taguig, merong sapat na ebidensya para magkaroon ng reasonable certainty of conviction para sa krimeng unjust vexation.
If I end up in jail, you know where to fly. If I don't respond to your text, I'm going ballistic right now by myself, sir.
Now, something else he notes here is that they did recently drop those theft charges. I'm not sure if these stemmed from the incident where he got on the cop's bike and kind of drove away, or maybe when he tried to steal those fans or that mask from that store. But they did indeed drop that charge. Though it does look like they are certain of the public disturbance, so they want to hit him with those 3 charges of that unjust vexation. Which is actually pretty good news for Vitaly in the end. I really thought that they were going to throw the book at him.
The civil trial, I think it's civil criminal, maybe it's criminal, it will maybe last 2 to 3 years. Oh, well, the minimum charge I think will be 5 years per guilty verdict.
But here is the part where it really looks like Vitaly is fucked. Because even though he would likely only spend 1 to 4 years behind bars for these 3 charges, when he actually gets out, there is literally nowhere for him to go because he was a green card holder here in America and was also still a citizen of Russia where he is from. But now representatives from the Philippines have been calling around, and neither America nor Russia is choosing to accept him in the event that he does get deported. Russia, his homeland, has literally said they have disowned Vitaly, with their officials emphasizing that they are in favor of him facing justice and consequences for his actions, even warning their people that when they travel abroad, they need to respect the local cultures and their laws. Clearly not wanting some sort of blanket punishment for the actions of one imbecile, especially one who has essentially disavowed his own home country in favor of America.
You know what's actually funny about that Russian won't accept him? You know, I've heard the arguments of like, you know, the Russians could accept him and then throw him in the mix and throw him on the front lines of Ukraine. But since he's so well known, you know, and people didn't say this, but, you know, I'm thinking because he's so well known and he's so rich, he could pay off somebody to flee Russia. I mean, Russia borders so many countries, you know, so it's not that they couldn't try to do that. They have every right to. Yeah, I mean, Russia's incredibly effed up, right? But I don't think that they would do it successfully. You know what I mean? And, you know, it wouldn't look right either because he is such a mega chud. Vitaly is, like you just saw that image right there. They wouldn't want somebody who has pictures like this on the Russian front lines, right? It would be confusing. It would be, it would be weird, right? The people would wonder where his loyalties stand, all kinds of stuff, right? So even though that would be one of the craziest things that could ever have happened to him, going back to Russia, he hasn't been there since a kid, and getting thrown in the fucking Russian army to go fight in Ukraine and die, that would be insane. It's like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I kind of wanted to see it. I kind of wanted to see it selfishly, right? Just because it would have been the wildest story ever. Like, not only did you think that you were going to get away with this, but you thought you were going back to America. America said no. Russia accepted you. Then you went to the front lines. Like, I mean, to talk about life-changing, man. That would have been insane to see. I would have covered like all of that if that really happened. And who knows? Russia could change their mind, right? In a couple of years from now, you know what? Let's make an example of this dude. Let's bring him back to Russia and throw him on the front lines. They could, but right now, I don't think so. I don't think so. Russia and the U.S., and they're not on good terms, and even the U.S. don't want him. The U.S. is deporting him. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, man. This dude's a lost cause. He really is.
Vowed his own home country in favor of America, who has also said at this point that Vitaly is not their problem. Obviously, right now, there are not nearly as many people coming into this country, and with the whole immigration situation, they likely look at Vitaly like he fucked up his golden ticket. And let me just tell you guys, the Philippine prison where he is likely going to be heading pretty soon is even worse than where he is currently at. These prisons are described as overcrowded and unsanitary. Every night you sleep body to body with a stranger. And for example, if a facility was designed to house 1,000 prisoners, they would try and squeeze 5,000 people into that space. This overcrowding obviously leads to a lot of illness, disease, and in some cases even death.
A struggle for survival begins. A struggle for space, for air to breathe. There is no access to food or water. The prisoners must persevere in one of the most overcrowded jails in the world.
Now, we don't know exactly when this guy will be sentenced or what prison he will be going to, but like I said, this guy Romulo really seems like he has made it his personal mission to see that they make an example out of Vitaly. So I really would not be surprised if he ends up in one of the worst places they have to offer. And you guys also have to keep in mind that this clown already skated much worse charges here in America, so maybe this is really just bad karma finally catching up to him. But I still think the most interesting thing to see will be when he actually gets out, where he will go. Because obviously no one wants his ass back in their country, and they're not going to waste their resources to do so. But I do want to know what you guys think about this Vitaly update down below. I do think that things are really going to start heating up in this court case. We might see the actual charges as soon as this week. Obviously, Vitaly is not having fun over there. I'm sure he's questioning a lot of his life choices. But hey, I guess that's what happens when you're pushing 40 and you're still running around like a goddamn idiot out in public in a foreign land. But either way, guys, I do want to thank y'all for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing. Y'all let me know what you guys think about this situation down below in the comments. But as you guys know, it's been your boy, the Tan Superman, and some of the stupid streamers out here need to be covered, so I'm out. Peace!
I love this IRL shit, man. This is my new shit. I just need to find a whole bunch of clippers. Because from the clips from today, there would be probably all over the net already.
Yo, he should have just stayed catching predators. What? Like, why did he? I don't even know why he's changed that, man. He must have got bored or something. He even had the game, the artist, the rapper, the game in one of his videos, or maybe even a couple. I don't know. I know YouTube is kind of strict about that for some weird reasons. I don't know. Like they don't like when they post stuff like that. I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, man, he screwed up royally. And I was talking to, I mentioned this a lot, that a lot of guys burn out when they get fame, right? And they're just so stupid. They could live a much more simple life and do good, because people forget, but he beat up a woman when he was high on God knows what kind of drugs out in Florida. He beat a poor woman, like punching her in the face. Like, this dude deserved to be locked up for years. He shouldn't even have seen the streets. I don't know why he got off on that. Maybe it was like a first violent charge or whatever, which is really ridiculous though. Just beating on a random woman that's running in the park, and because you're high on whatever you're high on, speed or meth or whatever. I don't know. But wow, what this is the definition of a crash out. It's unreal. It really is. And for 99% of people, I have much more sympathy and empathy for, right? Like, I was just reminded right at the beginning that this was 2 months ago. Now, my 2 months have, I've had hard days and good days and bad days and medium days. But the point is the rest of us are living life, and he's rotting in jail, literally rotting in a Filipino jail. Like, again, if he would have made a few mistakes, maybe he got a driving happy charge out in the Philippines, or, which is not good, right? Or maybe he, I don't know, accidentally crashed a car or something like that. but you're not offending the entire nation. You could have settled that, especially how rich you are. It might have even went under the table. You know, you could even maybe bribe some people, but since you insulted an entire country down to their leader, their secretaries, and the president himself saying that they want to make an example out of you, and especially right before election season, something that united the entire country.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I know that there's a lot of people that think that he's just going to get just like 3 to 5 years. Number one, if he gets that low of an amount, I don't think he's going to survive. You guys got to remember too. They don't have Western facilities, and he didn't grow up in the Philippines either. He doesn't have the immunity, like the biological immunity that the Filipinos have for eating Filipino food their whole life. Yes, it's jail food and prison food, but even that, he hasn't built up these immunities. He hasn't even lived there for a year. You know what I mean? So he hasn't been drinking their water. Like all this, like he was probably drinking bottled water and stuff. Like all this, he went from zero, or he went from 100 to 0, like literally overnight. From the time that they arrested him at the airport when he thought that he was going to leave, from that moment that they arrested him, he lost his freedom. And I mean, rightfully so. There's very few people. There's the Johnny Somalis, there's the Vitalys, right? That can piss off entire nations. I mean, you have to be so arrogant, so stupid, so ridiculous for this to go down. Really, truly. And for the amounts of money that even honestly, like even just a average American might be able to come by to get out of something, they want to make an example out of you, you know? And they have every right to. It's their country. You went to their country, you know? You went to their, and you know what's, yeah, I'm going to get political here, but you know what's ironic? You know what's ironic about this? He's such a mega chud. He's, and what's mega all about? Deportation, not accepting, people who are different than you, right? Not all mega, but quite a bit, right? And so he thought that because he's a Westerner, he had this golden pass to be the most obnoxious foreigner possible. Imagine if the majority of immigrants that come to the U.S. are incredibly obnoxious. Oh, are there bad apples? Oh, for sure. For sure. There's gang members and stuff. Is that the majority? Literally, is that the majority? No. But you were the most obnoxious, obscene, arrogant jackass you could have possibly been. When you're telling guys, the thing that bothered me, one of the most things that bothered me the most was what he said to the guy about, can his wife help you? You know, you do that shit. I mean, wow. It was incredibly disrespectful. And then whenever he does that stuff, especially to women, right? Then when he said that he was going to rob the older lady who looked like she was probably in her 50s or so, and she stopped in fear, right? Incredibly disrespectful. Incredibly. Next level, right? So anyways, who knows? I might cover this again. But I just completely forgot that. Wow, too much. And imagine you and me, we've been living life wherever you're at, and he's been rotting. He's been rotting in prison or in jail, you know? Even if he gets a lighter sentence, 3 to 5 years, that's 3 to 5 years, right? And I think that, you know, he's going to have to pay heavy amounts in extortion money. He's going to have to. I don't see any other way around it. And I don't think he's going to get that special a treatment. I just think that he might have maybe not to lay next touching other men while sleeping. You know, Latin American prisons, if you're really rich, you can get like entire like rooms to yourself. You know, Latin America is different, right? But the Philippines, it looks pretty merciless. Right? It looks like there's pretty much no mercy. And even any money that you have is probably buying you just the slightest bit of humanity, just the slightest bit of comfort, if that's even a word, in prison, right? So anyways, that's the update. It wasn't much of a legal update. I kind of wish it would have been more of a legal one, but you know, he's screwed. I mean, you know, that's, to make a long story short, he's incredibly screwed, right? So again, what's the lesson here? Don't be him. It's a very simple lesson, right? But you know what? There's still guys going to these countries and doing the exact same thing. What do I say? Usually I'm not too hard on crime. Like, well, okay, when it comes to violent crime, absolutely. Usually I'm not too hard on crime, but when you start insulting entire nations, entire groups of people, then I ain't got no sympathy for you. Okay. Anyways, so you guys, if you stuck in there that long for my reaction, please like, subscribe, share. Go to Jamari's channel as well. If you don't follow him, he does great reactions to all this stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Again, Ryan Aranda, my best life Paraguay, and take care of yourselves, you guys. Peace out.